Okay, I'll yell at you when to come out. Okay?
Start the shot, Christian. All right.
I've been told good documentaries start with a question. Why do we make movies? Not we as in humankind, but we, my friends and I. A natural place to start would be the teachers who assign these video projects. You assigned a video project for the A-Push class that I was in, and I think you've assigned it in years past as well. What's the purpose of this?
Well, there's a few things. Number one, it gives students an opportunity to plan and implement things with their friends. It gives them a way to think about the curriculum outside of just like a book, like you can see it in real life. But really, for me, it's what I remember from high school. Like, I remember those projects and being with my friends and making something that we were proud of. So it's another way to get students to think about it, but it's also a way to let them show their creativity.
Who are you?
I'm Oscar Peterson.
What was your role in the film production company?
You know, I kind of had a bunch of roles, you know, a lot of behind the scenes, assembling some of the sets, some of the costumes, while also playing some major and minor roles in some of the films.
Tell us about your most recent role.
I played Mr. Gideon in Gideon v. Wainwright, a student film, where I'm kind of a bum who brings a case to the Supreme Court to battle injustice.
Can you tell us a little bit about the first movie we made?
Okay, first ever movie was the Waterr documentary. That was very cool. We got to go to the water processing plant. We went under this lake. Remember that tunnel? That tunnel was so cool. And I had a great time. And then we went to Uncle Frankie's afterwards. It was a classic. It's a classic movie.
Are there any videos from the past that have really stuck with you?
You know, yes. They tend to blur together a little bit, but I don't know. There was one particular student work that I believe Sam Palmer was a part of. He did such a phenomenal job in that. You know, and what's great about that is, you know, you have students like Sam who aren't necessarily, they would admit that they're not super theatrical and artistic, but you see kids like that leaning into those roles and really exploring themselves a little bit. So that particular, and I believe it was one of those projects where Sam and his group were combining a number of works, but it was heavy into Gatsby, as I remember. And boy, did he really bring out the themes. I know he's a minor role in that one, but just a great example of how just a regular Joe Schmo off the street can really come in and make some magic.
Who are you?
I'm Sam Palmer.
And what was your role in Gatsby, a student film?
I was Daisy.
And what did Gatsby, a student film, mean to you?
It meant a lot. It was it opened me up to a great movie, great film, great book. You know, opened my eyes a little bit.
Would you say it opened the door to your acting career?
Oh, it did. Yeah, I've done many things since. Yeah.
What impact has that film had on you?
Well, as you know, my film career has taken off since then. So haven't been really anything since, but you know, I've thought about it a lot. So I'd say it's helped. You know, it's been pretty important.
Last question: why were you involved?
Because Mr. Haugen made me. Yeah, that's pretty much all it was.
Was there a specific shot or moment of the filming and production that you remember the most?
Maybe when we were at the party and we like put increasing amounts of flour under our noses.
What is that? What even is that, man?
Yeah, I just kind of had to look back and forth and look surprised.
Can you demonstrate that to us?
Wait, a little. Yeah.
You know, throughout the filming of all these different movies, did you feel like you were doing something meaningful or important?
Yeah, I think we've assembled the greatest trilogy of films, like that rivals, you know, Lord of the Rings, you know, Star Wars. Like, that's garbage compared to what we've done with so little budget and so much talent.
And tell us, what was the budget on these films?
We bought a bottle of ketchup for a Great Gatsby a student film. And I think that's the only thing we ever bought for any of the movies.
When you were filming and making these movies, did you feel like you were doing something important or meaningful?
Not really until we were done. Like, usually when we made them, like, making them was always a really frustrating experience for me.
I'm not doing that.
Here's a toothpick. Get to work.
We'll take a time lapse.
We're not doing that.
Get to work, bro.
No.
You got a long day ahead.
No, we have to film the parts you guys have to do.
Because we'd get really committed to something really dumb and hard to pull off that wouldn't come through at all when we like finished editing. But I think once we were done, we usually were able to look back and, if not important, at least kind of cool and interesting.
Do you have any favorite shots from that Gatsby movie?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can just vividly imagine Oscar just barrel rolling over a vehicle, and it was nuts. It was nuts. That's what it was.
And your film, an adaptation of
Lord of the Flies.
Lord of the Flies. Tell us about your process of making that.
Yeah, for sure. It was filmed over a course of 2 days. Like, we got like 8 hours of footage and practice. We filmed it down at Long Lake. We had to wait for sunset for a perfect time of sunlight. I was the beast, so I had to be in a fursuit for longer than I'd like to admit. We had to purchase lots of props. Ketchup is blood, of course. It was a very involved process, but it was very rewarding because it was just so much fun to make, and you know, it was with all my friends.
What makes this movie so special?
I think it's they come from like spending time with your friends or with my friends, and like creating this thing together, and just like every idea is considered at least, and like it's just this sort of super free creative process, and at the end of the day it's just like they're funny little high school projects, and they're kind of immortalized on YouTube. Yeah. And watching these videos, do you feel like these kids are doing something meaningful or important?
I mean, as meaningful and important as you can get out of students in late May. Like I said, half the time it feels like we teach things to memorize and not to do. And the best part about videos is that you're out doing something and thinking about it with your friends. So yeah, I hope so. I hope they get something out of it.
Do you think these students have gained something meaningful or deeper in doing these projects?
Obviously, that's the hope. I'm quite convinced that is the case, because I have students come back to me regularly, and when they come to visit, they often refer to that project in particular, and projects like it. So I do other projects similar to that in other classes as well. I think that it gives them a memory that packs a punch. You know, it's pregnant with all sorts of different positives in it. Those types of memories of being young and funny and comedic and also intellectual. I think it's going to stick with them.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Cool.
We make movies to splatter our ketchup blood on the concrete, to tell a historical or literary or true story, to learn about water treatment facilities, Supreme Court cases, each other and ourselves, and to laugh.
Screw that guy. Put that on record.